everyone, welcome back to Hacky Lessons. In this video I'm going to go over another lot of cards from set 3 of the One Piece card game, and this time we're going to be looking at red. If you haven't already, check out the video I did on all of the yellow cards, which is a much longer video than this one is going to be because it isn't quite as much in the red, with there only being one new leader card and no starter decks releasing alongside for red this set. So the leader card that we do have is Portgas D Ace, and this leader excites the hell out of me because he kind of lets you play Dragon Ball Super within One Piece. So I'll explain what I mean by that, but first we need to read him. So when this leader attacks or is attacked, you may trash any number of event or stage cards from your hand, and this leader gains 1000 power for every card trashed. So if you've never played Dragon Ball Super, I'll explain the combo mechanic for you now. One Piece has a few similarities from DBS, but a core mechanic in DBS that One Piece kind of half has is combos. We call them counters in One Piece, but in DBS, you can use them when you attack as well as when you defend. You won't know how strong an attack will be until they combo after the attack has started, whereas in One Piece, you can see how strong an attack will be before it starts by how much Don is attached. This makes it harder for your opponent to guess if they can get out of an attack. They can add up how many cards are in your hand and work out how much roughly that can be, and then decide if they're going to negate the attack before letting it go through. But One Piece doesn't have negates, only blockers. So that is going to make it even harder to avoid letting these big attacks happen. Though on the other hand, One Piece doesn't let you draw nearly as much cards as DBS does, so there is a bit of a risk reward in dumping your hand on attacks. The other great thing about this leader is that you'll have way more options in defending. If all your Don are rested, those event cards can still be used to counter, they're not dead in hand. So an Ace deck will naturally run a fair few more event cards than any other red deck. I'm sure you can already think of plenty of older red events to put in, but let's look at the ones that are new coming up in OP03. So the field card first, and this is a 1 cost called Striker. Activate main for 2 Don, rest the stage. If your leader is Ace, look at the top 5 cards of your deck to grab an event card and bottom deck the rest. So maybe it may cost 2 Don to do, but this is basically lets you draw as much as a Dragon Ball Super deck, so maybe dumping hand isn't as risky as a thing to do. There is no reason not to run this card at 4. You'll want it out as soon as possible to use every turn, and any extra in your hand can just be used as counters with your leader ability, so there's no reason not to. Fiery Doll is a 2 cost activate main to gain 4000 power for the turn on your leader. Basically paying 2 Don for the effect of attaching 4 Don, so good value there, though it does only work on your leader card. It has a trigger to give an opponent's character minus 10,000 for the turn. Crossfire is kind of the same, but in a few ways better. It's also a 2 cost, but it can be either used in activate main or as a counter. And instead of powering up your leader, it reduces the opponent's characters by 4000 power. So this isn't useful if you want to attack their leader or are being attacked by their leader, but for dealing with characters, it's great. Especially when used in combination with a card like Jet Pistol, it's better than using Otama. The trigger just activates the card's main effect. Fire Fist is a 3 cost activate main. Discard 1 event card from hand to KO both a character with 5000 power or less and one with 4000 power or less. So for 5 Don and a card trash from hand, all up you can use Crossfire and then Fire Fist to KO 2 cards, one of which was stronger but got reduced into range. So that is better value than using an Atama and a Jet Pistol, which costs 5 Don all up as well, but it's only KOing 1 character, and it's leaving you with less 2k counters to use. The trigger just KOs one of your opponent's characters with 5000 power or less. Flame Emperor is a crazy card. It is locked to only working if your leader is Ace, but it is a 7 cost to activate main, KO one of your opponent's characters with 8000 power or less, and then your leader gains double attack and 3000 power for the turn. Incredibly strong, and then its trigger is to KO an opponent's character with 6000 power or less, so it's basically a Jet Pistol at that point. So as you can see, these cards are designed to make your lead card the main attacker, but you won't win games with only attacks with the leader. Your opponent would just simply play lots of blockers and try to damage you quicker. Therefore, you are going to want to run some characters amongst all of the event cards. In the new set, most of the red cards are Whitebeard pirates, so they can be used as support for the old Whitebeard leader, but that goes the other way as well. Cards in OP02 like the Rush Ace that specifies a leader with the Whitebeard Pirate as a trait can be used in the Ace deck, as it does have the trait. But because all of the new event cards for Ace have that trait as well, you can run a searcher for Whitebeard Pirates, so the simplest way to build Ace is for all of your characters to be Whitebeard Pirates, or at least most of them. And now we have a character card that can be used to search for Whitebeard Pirates. Izo costs 1 and he looks at the top 5 for a card with the Whitebeard Pirates trait. Bottom don't for the rest. And then Sátyr is basically starter deck Nami. He costs 2 but has 3,000 power and can activate main to give one of your opponents a rested Don card. Fossa is a 2-cost blocker with counter power, so that's a nice option over Blenheim. Flamenco is a 2-cost with 3,000 power, and for 1 Don attached when attacking, he gives up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power for turn. Curiel is a 3-cost with 4,000 power and has counter power, and for 1 Don attached, he gains Rush, but with the stipulation that he cannot attack a leader card the turn he's played. Thatch is 1 cost, and he can activate main to gain 2,000 power for the turn, but he will be placed in the trash at the end of the turn. So to get the most value out of him, you're going to want to play him alongside Teach. A nice little thematic combo here, if just a bit cruel. Teach is a 4-cost with 6,000 power, and when attacking he can trash a character with 4,000 power or more from your board in order to draw 1 card and then gain an extra 1,000 power. Marco is a 5-cost with 6,000 power, and on play, specifically only on your turn because he can be played on your opponent's turn, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 power or less. So he's basically a stronger Vista, and then when he is KO'd, just like last set's Marco, he can be replayed from the trash in Rest, this time by trashing event cards. So while you can use him in other decks, this ability is going to be way more consistent in Ace. You're going to more likely have a target to trash. And then rounding up the Whitebeard Pirates, we have 2 vanillas, Speed Jill and Namul. This card's basically for the Ace deck, but it is a bit random for who it is. It's Buggy, and he costs 1, has no counter power, and that's to make up for having 3,000 attack power. And on play, he looks at the top 5 to grab a red event card. And just for the thematic representation of Buggy's Devil Fruit, he can't be KO'd by characters or leaders with the Slash attribute. And we have a little bit of support here for last set's Mountain Bandit archetype. The much younger looking Garp, he costs 3, has 5,000 power, and when attacking, lets you play a 1-cost for free. He's not strictly speaking Mountain Bandit support, but you can use him with the cards in set 3 and play Buggy or Izo. But that's the theme of that era Garp, having that ability, you know. And lastly, for the red cards in OP03, there are 2 new characters from the video game One Piece Odyssey, Adio and Lim. Adio is a 4-cost with 5,000 power, and when attacking with a Don attached, your opponent can't block with characters of 2,000 power or less. Lim is a 3-cost blocker, and when she is KO'd, she gives minus 2,000 power to one of your opponent's characters or leaders. And that is all the new red cards coming up in set 3. I hope you enjoyed looking at the new cards with me. If you are after more, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time for some more talk about set 3 of One Piece.